Justin Trudeau can't do it. The NDP, Jagmeet Singh, surely can't do it. Crystia Freeland can't do it. Nobody seems to be able to topple or at least go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the opposition. But who is trying to take the challenge are reporters, and it's not really working in their favor either. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. And just a gentle reminder that this is indeed the extra channel, and I would really appreciate it if you guys showed this one the same love that you do all of the others. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So reporters talk to Pierre Poilievre and they question him on some of his policies, some of his talking points, and it really doesn't work in their favor. And we're going to break down some of the key points of this recent press conference. So let's just take a look and get into this.
Along the lines of what you've been talking about already this morning, Mr. Poilievre, in regards to drawing kind of a tough line of what your party is proposing. Scott Cortese is with the London Area Community Health Centre, just located over here. During the police announcement, which I know your party is very familiar with, said that he wants a little time to come up with better protocols, better options, better avenues. Is there any compromise here? You've drawn quite a line this morning, but is there any compromise opportunity where you could work with some of these folks, come up with a modified plan, or is there strictly one option here in your mind?
Are you talking, sorry, on what subject? Are we talking now drugs or crime?
I'm talking safe supplies.
Well, again, how can you possibly report on the story when you're already using government propaganda? It's not safe. Yes, that's the problem. You're using the term they're using. How can you, so you've decided, you've already made up your mind, you're going to report their statements as though they're true. Well, why are you using their language?
Yeah, that's the language being used in various news conferences and other policies.
Oh, yes, they are, of course. So you're just being force-fed talking points by the authorities who caused the problem in the first place. This is exactly the problem. This is exactly the problem. It's exactly the problem.
London Police using the same terminology.
How's it working?
So I'm just asking you to answer the question of whether or not there's any room to work with these other agencies or not, or whether you're going to stick to your proposals, which are your proposals. That's all I'm asking, sir.
My proposal is recovery and treatment. Am I going to give more money to these agencies that have caused the crisis? No. They're not going to get any more money. They've caused the mayhem. Have you been around, have you seen the tent cities?
I lived in this very neighborhood for 8 years.
Have you seen the tent cities?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, and you think that these agencies are doing a good job?
I think there's, sir, it's not my job to debate a federal leader on this issue, sir, but I will say that...
I'm asking you a question. Are you think they're doing a good job when you go to see the tent cities that are popping up everywhere in the country?
The community is doing the best job.
I agree with you on that, the community, but the agencies are different than the community. And again, you're repeating their talking points. I mean, there was a time when reporters believed their job was to hold government accountable, not regurgitate their talking points. And that's what you're doing when you say safe supply. It's heroin-grade opioids that they want to give out. And it is being diverted to kids. It's not safe. Since this policy was enacted, we have seen overdose rates more than double across Canada. And where these policies have been most enthusiastically embraced, like British Columbia, it's 400%. I don't understand how the media goes to the same agencies and public health bureaucrats who helped cause the crisis and calls them the experts, when in fact the results of their policies are plain for all eyes to see. There's 256 homeless encampments in Toronto now. 50 of them have opened up in 3 months alone. Like the 25% of Canadians are living in poverty. We've had 40,000 people die of drug overdoses. The approach that we're taking, that the NDP Liberals and the bureaucracies that they employ are taking, is only making things worse. I will be taking that money and giving it to treatment and recovery services, not more drugs. Frankly, these NDP Liberal bureaucrats and activists who have been sucking up all the money are responsible for the crisis. We saw in BC, the public health authority there wants to make drugs available in corner stores everywhere. They want to have something called compassion clubs where the government would give drugs out for people, to drug distributors who would wander around giving them out freely to anybody who wants them. This is why we're in the mess. We need a drastic departure from the nightmare that the radical, wacko, NDP Liberal agenda has caused in our streets. We need to lock up hardened criminals. We need treatment and recovery. We need to ban hard drugs. We need to bring our loved ones home drug-free. Thank you.
Not sure why the media is disagreeing with that. It seems like it's all very much common sense, but nonetheless, I kind of want to pass the question off to you. Why do you think there's so much resistance from the media in support of this Liberal and NDP government coalition sabotage to our own citizens, right? Like Pierre Poilievre is fighting. The Conservatives are fighting to make sure that our streets are clean of drugs and of crime, yet the media is saying that we should be giving them free drugs. I just don't get that position at all. Let me know what you guys think down below. Next up, we're going to take a look at, that was just the question and answers with the reporters. And now we're going to take a look at the bulk of the speech that Pierre did. So here we go.
To start by offering my condolences to the family and loved ones of Brianna Broadfoot, who, a 17-year-old beautiful girl from London, killed by someone who had already been arrested, but for reasons I don't understand, was released to carry out domestic violence on her again. She is just the latest victim of the radical NDP wacko catch and release justice system, or I should say injustice system. It allows the same repeat violent offenders to go free again and again. Justin Trudeau and the NDP told you all that it would work, that all the so-called experts agreed that freeing criminals onto the street 50, 60, 70 times within hours of their latest arrest would somehow make us all safer. Most Canadians thought it was wacko, and they were right. Today, the data is out from Stats Canada. Data released moments ago show that violent crime is up 50% after 9 years of Trudeau and the NDP Liberals. Homicides up 28%. Sexual assaults 75% higher. Violent firearm offenses up 116%, more than double. Extortion up 357% as small business owners get letters telling them that if they don't pay $1 million, there'll be a bullet flying through their 6-year-old daughter or son's bedroom window in the middle of the night. That's what's happening on our streets. Auto theft, up 46%. This is the direct result of NDP Liberal catch and release policies that turn the same repeat offenders loose on our streets again and again and again. Just last week, we saw a story of 18 offenders charged with 150 crimes. 9 of them were already out on some sort of early release, and since their arrest, 6 of them have been released again. And what do you know? They're out doing more and more crime. A very tiny group of criminals doing all the crime. Even the Justice Minister has had his car stolen 3 times. Incredible. You'd think the criminals would be somewhat grateful that he keeps releasing them. But no, they steal his car too, and he is too dense to figure out that they should be locked up. This is the same guy who said that crime wasn't rising, it was just a perception. He said that Canadians were just believing crazy conspiracy theories about crime, and that the smart people who stare at screens and look at spreadsheets knew better. Well, now the spreadsheets are out, and they confirm that catch and release, wacko, NDP Liberal policies have caused one of the worst crime waves in Canadian history. Look at the firearms issue. Remember they told us if they banned hunters and sport shooters who are licensed, law-abiding, trained, and tested, that those people that all of a sudden we wouldn't have gun crime? Well, here we are, more crime. Why? It turns out that hunters are not the problem, nor are licensed sport shooters. They've already been trained and tested. They've had all of their backgrounds checked, and they're daily checked on the police database system, right? Those people don't commit crime. I want to protect Canadians from criminals, while Trudeau and the NDP want to protect turkeys from hunters. You decide which makes more sense to you. We see the chaos here in London with tent cities popping up everywhere. Now, this is obviously partly the result of the NDP Liberals doubling your housing costs, but also they're giving out drugs, taxpayer-funded opioids that are ending up in the hands of kids, despite the lies of those who are in the system who are profiting from it, are making the drug problem even worse. And now we learn that the NDP Liberal government had a secret document planning national decriminalization. They tried to keep it under wraps until after the next election, hoping Canadians would not find out. But Blacklock's reporter got their hands on the document, and it showed a secret scheme to legalize crack, heroin, cocaine, and other hard drugs, which, if Trudeau and the NDP are reelected, will be as easy to get in your neighborhood as a candy bar at a corner store. This is reality, my friends. After 9 years of Trudeau and the NDP Liberals, everything is broken. Canadians are broke, and NDP Liberals are not worth the crime, chaos, cost, and corruption. Speaking of costs, we see that our economy is collapsing. The Bank of Canada is forced to try and come to the rescue as the bank governor sees our economy shrinking faster than any other G7 country. We have the worst economy in the OECD. We're hemorrhaging jobs, all while inflation is once again rising. Trudeau and the NDP have doubled our national debt, and now they plan to quadruple the carbon tax, hiking the cost of gas 61 cents a litre, which will raise the cost of food, of heat, of gas, of everything that Canadians buy. This is a radical, wacko scheme that Canadians cannot afford, and we are seeing it metastasize onto our streets everywhere. Fortunately, common sense conservatives will bring home the country we knew and still love. We will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. We'll axe the carbon tax to bring down gas, heat, and grocery bills. We will build the homes by requiring municipalities speed up permits, free up land, and cut development taxes to build 15% more homes per year as a condition of getting federal funds. We'll cap spending and cut waste to fix the budget and bring down interest rates and inflation, and we will stop the crime. With jail, not bail, for repeat violent offenders who will no longer be eligible for bail, house arrest, probation, or parole. We will secure our borders with high-powered scanners that will ensure that shipping containers can no longer bring drugs and guns in and stolen cars out.
Which, funny enough, that's a talking point that Pierre Poilievre has been spouting for the past couple of years, and that Justin Trudeau just implemented and never gave credit to Pierre Poilievre. So that's really funny that he literally took the talking point and started doing it and said, "Look at what we're doing, everybody." Yeah, just funny, haha.
And we will honor our law-abiding, licensed, trained, and tested firearms owners by protecting their ability to use their property instead of spending $7 billion to go hunt them down and take away what they have been using lawfully and legally. And finally, we will combat the drug crisis that Trudeau has unleashed. We will do away with taxpayer-funded hydromorphone and other hard drugs that the industry of money-sucking activists, drug companies, bureaucrats, and hackademics. We will cut that back. There will be no more money for any of them. All the money is going to go into treatment and recovery services, detox, counseling, group therapy, sweat lodges for First Nations.
So, as you can see, these are all some very popular talking points, things that people want to hear. These are solutions to the ongoing problems. And I want to pass the question off to you, the viewers. How do you feel about this? Do you think that Pierre Poilievre will actually implement these things? Do you think that we can get Canada back on track? Personally, my own opinion is I do think that we can. I think that if Justin Trudeau were to get reelected and the woke, radical, left, extremist liberals were to continue their power, we might be at a point in Canada where things are going to be lost for a very, very long time. But we're not quite there yet. Which does mean that, well, to me, I'm very optimistic that with the new government, we can get things back on track and that we can have an economy that's booming. We can have houses being built from coast to coast to coast, as they like to say. We can have our dollar valued highly again, or at least a little bit better than what it is now. Gas prices can come down. Groceries prices will come down. Get rid of these ridiculous carbon taxes. Work on our government spending, all those awesome things, right? Take the drugs off the streets, keep criminals in jail, not bail, and just really focus on bringing Canada back to a phenomenal country. And let me know what you guys think, if that's even possible or not, but I remain optimistic that it actually is. You know, there's a saying, right? People want to make America great again, and that's kind of translated a little bit into make Canada great again. And earlier today, a friend of mine sent me a photo of some doofus wearing a Canada is already great hat, which obviously is a mockery towards make Canada great again. And I just want to know what you guys think about that. Is Canada already great, or is there room for improvement to the point where we could actually make Canada great again? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. That's where we're going to end this video. On your way out, I would like to encourage you guys to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.